Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we will be doing a readathon, a 24-hour readathon. I haven't done readathons since October because October was like spooky season and I was reading all the spooky romances and just spooky books, and I decided that this month will be the month that I go back into my reading grind because I love reading so much and I'm just so obsessed with reading at the moment, even though I had a little mini slump right before I filmed this video and it was a little bit sad. But now that I'm out of my slump, I am gonna read so much more. So in this 24-hour readathon, I have so many books in my list that I would love to get to, but before we get into that, I'm just gonna explain to you how I'm gonna do my 24-hour readathon. Today is Saturday and I'm gonna do 12 hours of readathon, and tomorrow, which is Sunday, also 12 hours of readathon. Yeah, right now is currently, let me check. It's currently 9 a.m. on a Saturday. So I would love to finish this by 9 p.m. if possible. If I had to take a break, obviously, I'm gonna take a break, but that's the goal, to read until drop. But yeah, let me get into the TBR because these books I've been wanting to read for quite a while. So let's get into the TBR. I have a few physical ones and I also have lots of ebooks in my Kindle because I don't know what I would be in the mood for. So I just want to have a lot of options, I guess, and I'm just gonna show you. Let's just say I'm gonna do 6 books. I know 100% I will not finish 6 books. Probably I'm gonna finish like 3 or 4 max, but we shall just get into it. The first book that I would like to tackle now, like immediately after filming this, is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I've heard so many good things about this and I am just intrigued. I think it's time. I've read Yellowface, I've read Babel. Catabasis, I think a new book by her that is coming out this year. Obviously I want to read that book, but hopefully before then. I don't know when it's gonna come out. Maybe April? I feel like a lot of books are coming out in April. But anyway, I want to read the Poppy War trilogy. I don't know if I'm going to finish the whole trilogy before then, but I definitely want to start the Poppy War because, yeah, I've heard so many good things. I know it is a bit gory. It's about war, and I think it's about the Opium War in China back in like, I don't know what year, but all I know is that our main character, Rin, she is from a small town and then she got recruited, or she applied to this military school, I guess in the capital if I'm not wrong, and yeah, and she got in, and that's as far as I know. But I know war is looming. I am really intrigued in what this book is about, so that's definitely the first book I'm tackling. And then the next book, it's another war book, but it is none other than The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon, I think. I'm so intrigued in the idea, and just the cover itself is so beautiful. I need to know what it's about. And plus, I think I talked about this, but Ali Hazelwood said I physically could not stop reading. And I definitely want a book that made me like, oh, I just want to continue, even though it's already like 12 hours in. So hopefully this could be one of them. But I'm gonna start with The Poppy War, and then I'm gonna see how I feel about continuing reading like war related things or like political things. If I'm a little bit sick and tired of war politics book kind of thing, I have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood if I'm in the mood for a romance. But I just read so many romances in the past 2-3 weeks that it's enough. I need a little break. Even though I love contemporary romance and I would always be down to read them, but I don't know if I'm gonna be in the mood. So I just feel like Ali Hazelwood is always such a fast-paced like read to me, like her books at least. So I thought, you know what, let me maybe pick it up. So that's that. All I know is that it's sports romance, and I've read like 4 or 5 sports romances in the past few weeks. So I don't know if I want another one, though it is swimmers, I think. Yeah, it's like swimming athlete So we shall see what it is. I have 3 books that I have on my Kindle that maybe I would like to read because they're like pretty short books. I have one which is Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent, I think her name, yes. And another one is a continuation / novella after Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, which is Mysteries of Thorn Manor. I've always been intrigued and I always want to know what it's about, so I have that on my Kindle and we'll see. And the third book is There Is No Answer by Frederick Backman, because again, I feel like I've talked about Frederick Backman so often, but I'm so obsessed with his writing style. But those are the 3 mini books that I have if I need like a little pick me up, a little like ego boost, that I at least finish like a book or so. So that'll be that. And another book that I might want to get into, it is none other than Court of Blood and Bindings. I've heard so many good things about this, by the way, by Lisette Marshall. So yeah, I am intrigued, fully intrigued. But yeah, so that's gonna be what we're gonna be doing for the next 2 days, like today and tomorrow. And I will probably update you whenever I have updates about Poppy War, because I'm gonna start with the Poppy War. Because when I see my list, I am just so intrigued in the Poppy War and I need to know what happened. Not that this whole vlog is gonna be like the Poppy War vlog, because if I really love this, I might pick up the second book because I have it somewhere on my shelf as well. So hopefully not. But if yes, oh well. No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna pick the second book. I'm definitely gonna pick it up very soon, and hopefully still this month as well. I think you guys are gonna see this like a week or 2 weeks after I film this. So because I need to do some pre-filming, so it is that. But yeah, today it's still, let me see. It is currently 9:37. So I'm gonna probably start at 45, or I'm gonna start at 10 to just like fully relax and all. But yeah, don't know how long it's gonna take me to finish Poppy War. I assume it is also 500 something pages long. So if I decided to pick up another book in between this, I think that's valid. But I think I'm gonna update you whenever I am like around 250 pages in, so I'm like right in the middle, so I know what to say and what to talk about at least. So yeah, that is pretty much that, and let's get into reading the Poppy War. So it is now quite a bit later. I know I wanted to update you whenever I am halfway into Poppy War, but I am actually, I don't know how many hours in, but I have a timer on my phone which says I am 7 hours and 4 minutes into the readathon. So I've been really productive, and right now it is currently 5 p.m. and it's still quite bright outside, but I have a little update on Poppy War for you guys. I have been just sitting here reading for the whole day, and oh gosh, I don't even know how to explain this book to you. Let me read the back a little bit and then I'll see what I can say and what I can't say. Okay, I think that I know what I can say, what I can't say. But this book is about Rin, and she grew up in this, I think in the southern continent, and in this small village. And she is a war orphan. Pretty much her life in this village is very difficult and very miserable because of her foster parents. They're so mean towards her, and then the turning point is whenever there is this like matchmaker that came to her house, just said like, okay, Rin, we're gonna match you with this like merchant, I think, that is 3 times her age. And from that point on, she was like, no, I don't want to do this. So what I will do, I will learn and I will study as much as possible so I can get into Sinagard, which is a military school in Nikon, which is the capital city of this country. What's the country? China, I think. Is it China? I'm not quite sure, but of this region pretty much, or of this country. And then she studied so hard for 2 years after. So she works in this store as a like opium count like opium seller, I guess. So like the foster parents are opium slash poppy merchants, and she's the one who like takes care of the inventory and like in the shop, taking care of the shop and that kind of stuff. She studied for 2 years and she go into this test, and she passed the test, but because of her skin color, she is darker because she's from the south. Yeah, she got in, but usually if anyone from this region were to go into the school, they usually celebrate for days because they're so proud of this one person. But alas, with Rin, because Rin is like an outsider even in the village that she grew up in, because her skin color is darker than the rest of like the population, and she's just an orphan. They actually are ashamed that an orphan stole the spot in this military school, which is honestly heartbreaking. And I hate how some people in this book is so racist towards her. It's just so, honestly, so mean. But anyway, fast forward, we are in Sinagard, which is the military school, and even there, she got bullied so hard because of her skin color, of her accent that is weird, of like everything that is not like the people in the capital city. She pretty much will get bullied about that. So yeah, move forward to she's like studying, and also like on the first day, the one of the masters in that school was like, so first year retention is only 80% because they filter through the students really like harshly. They want to train the best of the best. So she was like, oh no, I thought it's gonna be guaranteed 5 years of survival, of 5 years of place to figure out what she wants to do after, but obviously not, because she could just be out of this school as fast as she got in because of how difficult it is to stay in this school. And yeah, pretty much she got bullied, and she has this one friend that is always supporting her in a way. His name is Katai. It's so difficult to read some of this because I don't know how to pronounce the names, but I think it's Katai. And yeah, they're just studying and studying and studying, and then at one point, this is like the finals, and she needed to combat with other students, and she won. And through the combats, she figured out that she has this like unnatural power, and not unnatural, I guess it's like I guess unnatural is correct. It's like unnatural, unearthly, very incredibly powerful power that she has inside of her that she like figured out through this like final test. So and then she found out that this power that she had, it's called shaman. I'm not sure how to say it, but it's shaman, I think, or the power or the art of shamanism. So she figured that out, and she continued exploring her gift with this like quite odd teacher. His name is Zhang, like very very odd. And through learning and practicing with Zhang, she realized that she can commune with gods. Through learning with Zhang and practicing with Zhang, that gods are alive, even though she thought that they were all long dead. They're very much alive. And yeah, soon after that, the empire is actually at peace, but then right after, or like in the middle of her second semester, war started to break. Or the Federation of Mugen, I think, which we have like history during the first Poppy War, I think, or the second, if I'm not wrong. But pretty much they are coming back, and they want to strike this region, which is, yeah, honestly, if you cannot tell, the political aspect of this book, I am a little bit confused and lost. Like, I'm not lost to the point where I don't understand anything that is happening, but it's just like it's such a complicated political matter that is so, sometimes I was like, where are we right now? So that is pretty much that with Poppy War. But so far, I really, really enjoyed it. And I love how RF Kwang just does not waste any second on unnecessary things. Like, for example, the first time, whenever she was studying for Synagard, it was actually 2 years, and the way she just explained it in 2 paragraphs, and we got the gist of it, and we understand what she's going through, and then all of a sudden we're at the test. So she does not follow like a very linear timeline, I want to say. She's like, if this doesn't bring anything to the book, you're out. I really enjoy how she just writes to the point, which is obviously with a war book and a complicated political book, it is helping a little bit. But I am still enjoying it, and I'm 7 hours in, and I'm still not tired of the Poppy War, and I'm gonna probably gonna continue reading this in a bit. But before that, I think I definitely want to pick up Six Scorched Roses. I think before I finish this, I just want, even though I want to continue, but I feel like I want to read something else in between so I don't like tire myself out. I don't know if I'm going to update you in between that because it is a very short book. I think Six Scorched Roses is like 100 something pages, if not like less than 200, I think, if I'm not wrong. I know it's very short. Maybe I will read the 3 small mini novellas throughout the day, just like as a little break from how gory this book is, because this book is no joke. It's so gory. Obviously we're in war, but it's just so incredibly gory, and I have sometimes to just like stop and just like, oh, it's so gross. But anyway, I'm gonna hopefully continue this. I'm probably gonna update you guys this either tonight or no, I'm gonna update you guys this tonight, and hopefully by then I will be finished with one of the short books that I have decided to read. But yeah, I will continue doing that, and we shall get into it. Hello guys, I'm here for the first update for Poppy War. Is it the first update? No, it's the second update. It is now quite a bit later. I am 10.5 hours into my readathon. So it's currently now 8 p.m. ish, and I will be done by 10, but I think this is gonna be the last the last clip that I will film today because I'm tired. I'm so tired of reading, but I'm gonna continue and push through reading for the next 2-3 hours. If I can go a little bit more, it'll be better because I'm not sure if I can read as much tomorrow. Whew, reading Poppy War has it is a very intense book. Also, I read this for like 10 hours, like 9 hours, 50 minutes or something. And the last 40 minutes, I've been reading Six Scorched Roses, which I will get into in a little bit. But the Poppy War, where do I even begin? After I talk to you, things have hit the fan for sure. It went downhill so fast. I mean, I think the last time I talked to you, we were in the war, if I'm not wrong. Yes, we're in the war, and she pretty much just got drafted, I guess, to the war because everybody got drafted because we're in the middle of war. And since then, we have witnessed so many battles that Rin has faced, and oh my gosh, at first I just like my emotions towards these characters are just so like so unpredictable because at one point I really enjoyed Alton's character because he's Alton and he just sounds like he's hardworking, he's cool, he's mysterious, and he's really strong. And then at one point, he flipped 180 and then he became like this most annoying guy ever. And I hated him. And then he flipped again, and all of a sudden, I liked him again. Guys, I cannot make up my mind with this characters in the Poppy War, but the ending of the Poppy War. Oh my gosh. I was actually contemplating for like at least 20 minutes whether I want to start the Dragon Republic or I want to go to Six Scorched Roses because I don't know if I can handle another gory war scene as of now because this book is so gory beyond belief. It's just like the details that R.F. Kuang puts in some of the scenes are so detailed and I feel like it's unnecessary, but it's also necessary to show how ugly and how horrible war is, which is I honestly, R.F. Kuang, how do you write this? This came out 2022 if I'm not wrong, and I don't even think she's that much older than me. Which is like the fact that right now, if I have to write something like the Poppy War, I would not have understood and I would not have been able to. But I think she is also like she studies. Oh, sorry, but I think she studies like war politics, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. Usually at the back, I cannot see. But I know R.F. Kuang has like a little bit of a like politic background. I don't know if it's necessarily war politic, but I guess if you are learning politics, you're probably gonna stumble upon some more somewhere in there. But yeah, honestly, I don't know what to rate this. I need to muster in my feelings. I need to like sleep on it to properly rate it. But I think it's for sure a good rating because I fully enjoyed it. I binged it for like 10 hours and did not even I mean, I got up, but like did not even had the feeling to like stop until like I finished the book because it is so like I could not put it down because I just had to know what's gonna happen next because every turns there's just so many enemies surrounding our main characters. But honestly, the found family in this book as well, which is like the psych, I think it's called, I adore them. They are like a group of mismatch, a group of unique people, and it's just honestly heartwarming. But that's that to the Poppy War so far. Maybe I would have more thoughts by the end, by the outro. Usually in the outro I do wrap ups. So we'll see if I have anything else to say after a night's sleep, I guess. But I am now continuing to Six Scorched Roses. I don't know if you can see it, but it's by Carissa Broadbent. So this book, I don't know a lot of because I think I'm like page. One second, let me check. I'm chapter 7 slash page 300, page 38, and I am 25% in. So I read a fourth of the book, which is crazy. And I think this book is right under 200 pages. Wait, that can't be right then because 38, let's just say 4, 6, and maybe it's 160 pages because right now I'm 25% in and I'm only 40 pages in. Anyway, no math, but yeah. So far, I don't know if there is any connection to the Serpent of the Wings and Night series, other than that it's in the same like country, empire. I'm not sure, but yeah, it is very interesting. Our main character is Lilith and Vale, I think, and pretty much we are in the countryside. If I'm not wrong, we're in the countryside in Neaxia, and there is just a terrible plague that is upon them for quite a long time. And she, as in Lilith, is like a scientist of some sort, and she is trying to figure out how to cure this plague through Vale. So that is what I know so far, and I assume Six Scorched Roses is they're gonna meet up for 6 times because she struck a bargain with Vale that she's gonna give him 6 roses and he's gonna give her 4 vials of blood in each meeting. So that's that. I think that's how you get the name. I don't know about what the scorched mean here, but yeah, that's pretty much that. So I think, like I said before, this is probably gonna be my last update because I don't know if I want to vlog after this. I already changed to my comfy hoodie because I just want to lay down in bed and read. So I will probably read Six Scorched Roses and I'm gonna finish it before I have to finish my readathon tonight. And I will continue on reading the Hurricane Wars, I think. If not the Hurricane Wars, I will probably continue. The answer is no. I think I keep saying there is no answer, but it's the answer is no by Frederick Backman. I'm sorry for the misinformation, but it is the answer is no. So I think I either gonna read Six Scorched Roses and then the answer is no. I'm gonna finish those 2 tonight, and tomorrow I'm gonna focus on the Hurricane Wars, which honestly, after reading so much war by like in the Poppy War book, I don't even know if I want to read the Hurricane Wars, but I'm just like in the mood for like political fantasy for some reason. So yeah, that's that. And if I still have time by the end of tomorrow, I will probably read Mysteries at Thorn Manor, and after that, we'll see if we still have time and I can read part of Court of Blood and Bindings. So that is the plan. I will probably see you tomorrow, and also before I signed off, you probably saw me did my journal a little bit. I set up my 24-hour readathon journal spread because just to commemorate this readathon, obviously, it's not done. I just like set up the bare bones of it, and we will probably finish it tomorrow night when I finish the readathon. I don't know when I'm gonna start my readathon tomorrow, but I want to start it early because 12 hours is a long time and I'm feeling it now. But anyway, I am enjoying my readathon so far. I am loving reading. It's so much fun, and I'm gonna also, it is such a refreshing book for me after reading so much of the Poppy War of how intense it is, and going to Six Scorched Roses where it's just, I mean, obviously we're in the middle of a plague, so I don't think it's like relaxing, but in the way it's written, somehow it feels like a very cozy fantasy kind of book, which I am definitely down after the Poppy War. So that is my plan for tonight. Six Scorched Roses. The answer is no, and gonna start the Hurricane Wars if I still have time today. And I will probably see you guys tomorrow morning for the intro to day 2. So, see ya tomorrow, guys. Hello, guys. I'm back, and I know I was gonna update you guys tomorrow, but not even an hour later. I think maybe it's exactly an hour later. You can see I am currently on 11 hours, 11 and a half. Yeah, I finished Six Scorched Roses, and oh my gosh, for a book so short, I completely love it. I think I love it more than The Serpent and the Wings of Night, even though it was really good. But yeah, I think I'm just here to update you a little bit on Six Scorched Roses, and now I'm gonna start with the Hurricane Wars. And I don't know if I'm gonna start with the Hurricane Wars or the answer is no, but I will assure you that this will be the last update I'll be giving you tonight. But yeah, I just want to update you so that tomorrow's update is not too long. But Six Scorched Roses, if you guys are not even reading the Serpent and the Wings of Night series or Crown of Neaxia series, still pick this novella up, because I don't even think you need to understand the world building that much. It's just something about vampires, love story, romance with vampires, something about just romance with vampires. I just fully adore it. Sorry guys if I keep looking down, it's because I keep looking at the viewfinder and make sure that I'm in frame. But yeah, oh my gosh, the chemistry between our two characters, which is Lilith and Vale, oof, they are top tier chemistry, and I love them so much. So this honestly kind of convinced me to read the second book in the Serpent and the Wings of Night, because I was actually not interested in reading the second book, which is Ashes and the Star Cursed King, because of how the way it ended. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels meh. And like, I love vampires and all, don't get me wrong. It's like one of my favorite occult. Yeah, that book, I was just like, yes, it's Hunger Games like, and I just don't like how it ended. And I don't know what it's gonna be in the second book, but yeah, enough distraction. I just want to say that I finished Six Scorched Roses, and please pick it up because it's really good. And yeah, that's the update. I'm just gonna continue reading. I think I'm gonna pick up the Hurricane Wars for sure now. Stop contemplating it. So I'm gonna pick it up, and yeah, I'll update you whenever I have update, but it's probably gonna be tomorrow morning. But yeah, I will then talk to you guys tomorrow, and for real this time. Good morning, everyone. This is the next day of the readathon. I'm so tired of reading. I'm so tired of reading right now, but I'm excited for today because I'm gonna be getting more into the Hurricane Wars. I am currently, let me show you. I hope you can hear me as well. I'm like whispering a little bit because it's still quite early. It's 9 o'clock. And I think I'm gonna start this at 10 again. I did 14 hours of reading yesterday, so I didn't do 12 even though I planned that I was gonna read 12 yesterday and 12 hours today. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna read as much as possible in each day and then just finish the readathon in the second day. So today we have 10 hours. And yesterday, after I finished talking to you, I finished The Answer is No by Frederick Backman. It's like honestly a wholesome little story of a guy. I don't know if I should explain or like talk to you about the blurb whatsoever, but it's pretty much about Lucas and his life. He used to be so happy, and until a frying pan makes him unhappy, and then the story unfolds that way. But The answer is no, is I think about 60 something page long, so it's not that long at all. And I finished it pretty fast, I think like in an hour or so. And then I continued reading The Hurricane Wars. Let me look where I'm at exactly, because I listened to it. I listened and read at the same time. I'm currently chapter 11 or 119 pages in. So I honestly kind of am pretty intrigued with the world. So the Hurricane Wars is pretty much a war between, I don't want to say tribe, but like different occult, I guess. Our main character, Taliesin, is a light weaver. And yeah, and she uses her power, which is light, because she's a light weaver, to help save her people, I guess. Yeah, her people against the Night Empire. And Alaric is from the Night Empire. And Alaric's ability is Shadow Forge. So he is like with darkness and everything. So that is pretty much what I know. We like our two main characters, which is Alaric and Taliesin, they first met whenever the Night Empire tried to conquer the place that she is currently camped in. So that's pretty much that. Taliesin had to go to this specific place to just help her people like overcome the threats from the Night Empire. And she, on the way, or slash in the border of that place, she met Alaric, because Alaric just wants to kill her because she's a threat. She's the last person of her kind, and she is the perfect weapon to destroy the Night Empire. So Alaric has been tasked to kill him. And Alaric is also like the heir of the Night Empire. So he's like the best of the best, he's the heir and he's the prince. So he goes and tries to kill her. And then we found something super major about Taliesin. They figure out that their power combined is something totally like out of this world and so different from what they know, really. So yeah, that is pretty much where I'm at. If I see the blurb at the back, I see enemies forced into marriage. So I'm still really excited to see where this goes, but I'm definitely not that far into it. I'm 120 pages in. So that's why the goal for today is to finish the Hurricane Wars. And based on the audiobook, I have around 6 hours left. So, and I have about 10 hours left in the readathon. So afterwards, I still need to pick up a book that I will probably read for the next 4 hours, just like to fully finish the readathon. So I think the book would probably be A Court of Blood and Bindings, because like I said, I'm so intrigued in this. Honestly, either I will be reading Court of Blood and Bindings or another book that I'm currently intrigued with. It's called The Silent Patient, because I got it a couple months back, even a year ago, I think. And I've heard so many good things about The Silent Patient. It is, I think, mystery thriller, a thriller mystery, I'm not sure. And I am really intrigued with that. We shall see what I do after. Other than that, let's get started reading for the whole day. So that's pretty much the plan. And let's just get into reading more of the Hurricane Wars. And I will update you, I think, when I finish it. Hello everyone, I am here to update you on how the readathon is going. It is actually quite a bit later. I think I updated you today in the morning at like 9. I have been reading on and off, and I just finished the Hurricane War, and it's currently 7:42, and I have about 4 hours left in the readathon. So we need to figure out what we're gonna read. I think I will film the outro tomorrow for sure, because I don't think I'll be filming the outro at like midnight. So for the rest of the readathon, I have 2 books that I'm currently in the mood, I guess, to read. Either I'm in the mood for like fast-paced mystery thriller, and I've heard a lot of good things about The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, if I'm not wrong. But that's that. Before I talk about the Hurricane Wars, but I'm like a little bit stressed because I want to finish this readathon as well. But the other book, I think I already said, it will be Court of Blood and Bindings, which I think I'm more into reading A Court of Blood and Bindings now. So I think I will actually pick this one up, or I'll pick both up in the next 2 hours, because I don't think I'll finish either anyway. But before we start reading that, I just want to talk about the Hurricane Wars. I've heard so many people said that the Hurricane Wars, they're so underwhelming. Personally, I feel like it is a really good story, and it is definitely forced marriage, and I see the like chemistry between two main characters, which is Alaric and Taliesin, and also the storyline is really interesting. I've never read anything like it, so I don't know if it's like I just haven't read anything about this kind of like fantasy, or this is like a one of a kind of story. I don't think so though. But yeah, I don't think the ending made me want to read the second book immediately, but it made me want to order the second book right now. But I don't think I will. I don't know. But yeah, so pretty much the plot is, I think the last time I told you that I was not sure how they're gonna get married or like get into this arranged marriage, and we definitely went through that. So pretty much this one empire is threatening this empire, and instead of war, they don't want war, so they say, you know what, alliance. And in order to like fully connect it, I guess, like both alliance, they decided on marriage. That's how Alaric and Taliesin got married. And honestly, they are true enemies to lovers, because Alaric is from the Night Empire, and he destroyed her home country, killed a lot of people that she loved. So she hates him, and he hates her because this is like who he is, I guess. So through and through, enemies to lovers. And sometimes I get honestly a little bit annoyed at the main character, like not Alaric, but mainly at Taliesin, because she's so stubborn. But it's not like cute stubborn. It's not like I can get over it stubborn. It's like she is so stubborn beyond belief. Like for a chunk of the book in the middle, I was just like, I cannot spend more time with Taliesin because she's so obnoxiously stubborn. I don't know what I would rate it though, like star rating wise, because I enjoyed it, but it's not like, when I think about it again, it's most of the like lines that Alaric used. It's so overused, but I think it's like the formula that we all love, and I think because of that, I enjoyed it a little bit as well. Did I also tell you guys that they have like this? Do you guys see the mini ship? Yeah, they have like the little illustration there, which is cute, and the cover. Oh, it's in focus. The lighting is a little bit dark right now, but yeah, I honestly, I would say this is like a decent fantasy world. I think there's 3 in total. The second one came out just recently. I'm not sure when. I don't think it's this year though. I think it's either like December or November last year, so still pretty new. And I think from my research the other day that the third one is coming out next year. So I definitely want to continue the series. I am intrigued because there's also this massive thing that is really horrible, and it's gonna happen to the world that this book is set in, that they're gonna destroy everything, and our main character is supposed to like help with the blow and like help ease the blow. So we shall see what's gonna happen. That probably happens in the second book. I don't know if I want to pick it up yet, because if I am always so traumatized in reading the second book and knowing the third book is not out because of The Ballad of Never After, because the ending of that book killed me, and I did not want to wait for the third book. So I have a little bit of trust issues with second books. Like, yeah, when it comes to a trilogy. Before I continue rambling with my nonsense, I'm just gonna start reading I keep saying it, A Court of Blood and Bindings, but it's just Court of Blood and Bindings. So let's get into it. So, I am finally here to update you on the 24-hour readathon. This is the outro. I finally am done with filming this 24-hour readathon, and in this readathon, I finished, I want to say 5 books, but it's technically in the 24-hour time span. I finished 4.5, but I didn't stop after the 24 hours timer went off. I continued until I finished my 5th book. So let me just talk about the 5 books that I read. Let me put this microphone down as well. So I hope you guys can still hear me pretty well. But the first book that I finished is none other than the Poppy Pour, the Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Honestly, what can I even say to this book that does it justice? But it is pretty much about the Poppy War, and I think I already talked to you what this is about, but we are currently following Rin, our main character, who was a war orphan in this small village, and she worked so hard to get a place in this military school, and she did. But yeah, pretty much here we get to experience what it feels like, how brutal, how gory war can be. By the way, if you guys are hearing my heater, let me just turn it off 1 second. I hope you guys don't hear it anymore. But yeah, I think what I enjoy most about the Poppy War is how our main character just goes through, you guys can still hear the heater, but how our character just went through the development that she had, pretty much, because she started off being a war orphan in the middle of nowhere, and then she goes to this military school, and people were so racist towards her because of just her skin color and her accent. She worked so hard to be where she is right now, and I would not have thought that the book would progress this way. Yes, in a way, I predicted that it will go sideways like this, but this just makes me want to pick up the Dragon Republic so bad, like right now at this very second. Let's rate this book before we get into the second book that I read in this readathon. So I think I would rate this, I want to say 4.25, because I really enjoyed it, but I don't think I will be thinking about this book anytime soon. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I don't know if I can give you any other insightful thoughts from my end, because even the blurb is so vague about everything. Oh, maybe, I don't know if I've talked about it, but I love how R.F. Kuang's writing style here is so different from her writing style in like Babel or Yellowface. Like obviously it's different genres, but I mean Babel is, in a way, it's a dark academia, but it's also like in the middle of a war. So I think personally her writing style is so different to Babel, and the fact that she wrote this whenever she was like, I think 20 something, early 20s, is honestly mind-blowing. But major respect, and I am hooked, and I will continue eventually. So yeah, that's the Poppy War. And the second book that I read is none other than Six Scorched Roses. Oh my gosh, that book. I didn't think I can get hooked into a novella so fast. I don't even think you need to read the duology to read the novella. The duology is The Serpent and the Wings of Night and The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. And yeah, I just honestly love the story like this, because it is about our main character who has been dealing with death her whole entire life, because there is this plague that is cursed from the gods to her, I think, town or region. I don't know exactly what, but she has been working her ass off. She's been working so much, working so hard to find a cure for this plague, and apparently she figured out maybe vampire's blood could help. So she went out of her way to this dangerous vampire that has isolated himself for years, decades, and she went there, struck a bargain, and that's where it goes. And honestly, the romance, I love it so much. And even just like the plot line is nothing groundbreaking, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think in all the novellas I've ever read, I think this might be my favorite one up to date. So yeah, that's Six Scorched Roses for you, and I think I would rate it probably around 4 stars, which is honestly pretty high for a novella compared to a full book. It is definitely, it says more, it tells you more, it grips you more than just like a normal 300-page book, which I totally can get on board with. Yeah, moving on to the third book that I read in this 24-hour readathon is The Answer Is No by Frederick Backman. Honestly, I love being back in his writing style and his humor and his just like, I love also how Frederick Backman always breaks the fourth wall. He always talks to the reader as if like, just like, oh yeah, you wouldn't do that. Oh yeah, you wouldn't do this. And I just like, it's not overdone. He doesn't do it often, but when he does, it hits the spot really nicely. So yeah, it's about just Lucas being an introvert and how he's happy without seeing anyone, without being with anyone. And a frying pan is what I guess ruins his happiness in this context, but it's honestly a wholesome story, and I also only 60-page long. So if you guys are interested in Frederick Backman but also a bit nervous in picking up like his books because of the hype around it, maybe try and pick up like his shorter work, which is, I want to say, The Answer Is No. It's like a good candidate to get into Frederick Backman. But if you guys are intimidated with Frederick Backman, do not get intimidated, because honestly, once you start the first page, it's so easy to get it, like into the book, and you won't even stop because his books are like such a page turner. So yeah, I guess that's that. But for this novella, I think I would rate it 3.5 or 3 stars, because again, it's a novella. I cannot rate novella that. I feel like rating novellas are just a bit, I feel like we shouldn't rate novellas because it's so short compared to like full-length novels. So yeah, but I think considering what I read, I want to say it's 3.5 stars. So it's not bad at all. It's really good. And yeah, moving on to the fourth book that I finished in this readathon, it's none other than The Hurricane Wars. I honestly think the idea of the Hurricane Wars just is somehow more appealing than like before I read it, because before I read it I was like, oh my gosh, it is such an interesting concept. But once you read a bit, it is like, I think the world building is a little bit weaker in a way. The author describes the surrounding pretty well, but it's not nothing like, it doesn't seem so fantastical in a way like the world building. It feels like, it feels very modern day. And this is definitely not in modern day. It sets like, I feel like quite a bit back, because there's no phone, no electronics and that kind of stuff. So it's definitely not modern day fantasy, or like, what do you call it? Modern day fantasy? Like urban fantasy? Definitely not. So the Hurricane Wars is pretty much war between, I guess, region, continent, and they all have like different names. Like for example, Sardovia, and then like different, I want to say a cult, different people. I think it's like just between abilities in a way, because Alaric is Shadowforge and Taliesin is Lightweaver, and there are others as well that we have not like met. For example, there are Fire Dancers, and there's also Brain Singer. What is that? Enchanter. There's also Wind Caller. So there are quite a bit. Concept wise, it is very interesting, but it's nothing groundbreaking. And I think I still enjoy my time reading this, but I also love how the slow burn enemies to lovers took place in this book. It's just, I don't know, something is missing here, and I am excited to pick the second book, and I will definitely pick the second book up just to like get a grasp on whether I want to continue it, even though I think this is a trilogy. So by the time I read the second one, hopefully the third one is out and I can just finish, because I'm so bad at finishing trilogies for some reason. Once the second book is not as interesting anymore, I don't feel the need to pick up the third book, which is, I should always pick up the third book and just finish the whole series. But anyway, I'm getting better at that. But yeah, I think the Hurricane Wars, how high would I rate this? I think I definitely would rate, I think I would rate this 3.5, It's nothing crazy, it's nothing new. Yeah, even though it is interesting and the idea of it's interesting. I definitely had a fun time reading it, but I don't think it's anything like, oh, I have to read the second book right this very second. So yeah, I guess just keep that in mind if you guys are interested in picking up the Hurricane Wars. And I think also the experience that I had is probably a bit better because I had like an immersive audiobook and book reading at the same time, so it is a little bit more like easier to digest than just like fully reading it. So maybe that contributes to the ratings as well. But yeah, that's that. And the last book that I read, I technically didn't finish this book in the readathon because I think I read at that point like 250 pages. And then my timer went off, and that's the end of the readathon. But I could not stop reading it last night, so I decided to just finish it, and I did finish it. I would say I finished this. But it's none other than Court of Blood and Bindings by Lisette Marshall. It is so good. It is like this is underrated because not a lot of people talk about this book, and I am currently in the middle of book 2, and I am loving book 2 even more than book 1, and I don't think that's even possible because the rating of this book is probably 4.5 or 4.75. It's so close, and I honestly enjoy. And also the magic system in this is quite interesting. It's with colors where you like, I think you touch a fabric and then you absorb the color and unleash it as your magic. So there's red, yellow, and blue. I think blue is healing, yellow is change, and red is damage or destruction. So this book is about a deadly fae called the Silent Death that found this 20-year-old Emmeline in a human region, I guess, and she wields a forbidden magic. So in order to how do you explain this? So he captured her into the Crimson Court, which is in the heart of Fae Isles, which is like the capital of the Fae Isles. So pretty much the Crimson Court slash the Fae Isles are led by the mother, and the Silent Death being the mother's most trustworthy killer, has decided to form an allegiance with Emmeline to kill the mother. It's between our two main characters, and then it is definitely like a slow burn romance, but not only the romance are so good in this book, it's also the like plot to the story, because you are in the perspective of Emmeline, so you don't know anything because Emmeline has no idea that she wields this forbidden magic, but slowly but surely she meets characters in this world that explains to her what her magic does, and then she trains, and then we get to know her like powers better, I guess. And yeah, I just honestly love the chemistry between our main characters. Okay, well, the Silent Death's name is Creon. Oh my, Crayon. I think it's Creon. It's Creon. So Creon and Emmeline is just, yeah. I love Grumpy Sunshine, and this is like definitely Grumpy Sunshine. Even though I think Emmeline is also grumpy, but just more talkative grumpy. I think talkative is wrong, but like more, she's just more like explosive, I guess, in a way. So yeah, if you guys are interested in reading about Fae's enemies to lovers, about overthrowing like the empire kind of thing, I think you would definitely love Court of Blood and Bindings. I am already in almost to the end of the second book, and this is like the day after reading Court of Blood and Bindings, and I definitely want to pick up the third book also today because I'm so excited to see where it goes. And I think in total there are 5 books. So yeah, this is what I'll be reading in the foreseeable future. But yeah, other than that, that was the 24-hour readathon. I honestly had so much fun filming it, reading. I read so much in the span of 24 hours, and I'm just so excited. I really just want to do another 24-hour readathon this weekend, but I don't know if that's smart. I don't want to read too much that I get a reading slump as well, so I need to keep like the balance somehow. But yeah, other than that, that's the 24-hour readathon. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.